Hello, my friends. Here I am, Pedro Candeias, for our lesson, an extra lesson. Okay, I decided to include in Explosive Karate 2021 regarding a team dedicated to a theme that I consider that is important. In that is one more tool you will add to your toolbox, okay, to keep your karatekas motivated, with more training variation, always conducting to the results, the best results, efficiency, and injury prevention that we want to achieve with our athletes and non-athletes. Okay, today I'm going to dedicate this lesson to the eccentric overload training, okay, for speed and power. Okay, that's the main theme of this course, and I'm going to explain you everything. I'm going to show you some videos. Let me just put my watch so I don't go beyond the 25-30 minutes maximum. This lesson will have two parts. Okay, this first one I'm going to talk to you about the generic concept of the method. I'm going to explain the whys and all of that. I'm going to give you the protocol of one of the strategies we can use to the eccentric overload training. And in the second part, I'm going to give you two other important strategies that you can easier with ease use with your athletes and karatekas in the dojo without any special equipment. Okay, so what is the eccentric overload training? Is when we put a super maximal load over our muscles. Okay, you already by now know what is a super maximal load. It's a load that I can't move in a concentric action, but we have more strength when we make an eccentric contraction, when I'm just controlling the eccentric phase of the movement. I can support more weight in that descending phase of a squat, for example, then I can lift and move in the concentric phase when I stretch my legs. Okay, so what we want to do with this method is to produce an overload in the eccentric phase. In other words, I'm going to try to reach a super maximal load in my concentric phase, a load that I can't move in the concentric, but I can support, I can move in a controlled way in the eccentric phase. Okay, but I'm going to show you some examples in some videos. What's the benefit of this? We are going to increase our karateka's change of direction speed through the improvement of deceleration. Okay, every change of direction, especially when it's as fast as we can, as a deceleration phase. Okay, we already talked about it, maybe in plyometric training. I think I move very fast towards the direction. I have to decelerate my body as fast as I can so I can move and change direction backward to the side, whatever. Okay, so the deceleration phase, the way I can break my body motion as fast as I can, that will allow me to change direction faster. Okay, that's a logic conclusion. So this method, eccentric overload training, will especially improve your deceleration, and that will transfer to change of direction speed. Okay, so first of all, let me talk about okay, we are going to talk about the use of the flywheel. Maybe some of you have already listened about it. Okay, I'm going to talk about the role that Nordic hamstrings exercise have to improve deceleration, and we are going to talk about forced deceleration. Okay. Now let's talk about forced deceleration. What is the forced deceleration? You can use karate displacements, single or in sequences. Okay, two, three displacements in a row. For example, in Kumite or Kata, you can use plyometric exercises. You can use, if you are in favor of using running to develop karate's power. Okay, okay, it's your choice. So what you are going to do is to make the displacement or the sequence of displacements or the plyometric exercise or the running as fast as you can, and you will ask your athletes, your karatekas, to stop the movement as fast and as much as they can, and to stick the position 2 seconds, 3 seconds, in order to guarantee, to assure that they really are stick and they were able to really stop their body motion. Okay, you can use the same principle as the flywheel. If you make the displacements or the plyometric exercises with a greater distance, you will accelerate more. For example, a plyometric exercise, if you jump one hurdle, you produce a certain amount of acceleration. If you jump 4 hurdles, you will produce higher levels of acceleration, higher levels of power that will be more demanding, okay, to decelerate. Okay, so you can play with this information and, for example, start with short displacements or single displacements, and then you will add some power in the acceleration phase, so the deceleration will be harder to achieve. What you want is not to decelerate the body, yes, in a relaxed way. Let's imagine that you make a 3 kumite displacement sequence, and you make pam pam pam, and then you give your athlete the chance to decelerate progressively. No, that's wrong. What you need to include is a forced deceleration. Okay, if they displace 3 times in a row, they will accelerate as much as they can, and they will have to try to decelerate as fast as possible. Okay, that's the forced deceleration strategy, to put an eccentric overload in your lower limbs. Okay, for example, let's watch here an example. This is one of the Karate Science Academy content partners, Mohamed Yalikaya, with some exercises. Okay, let me show you another thing. Let me show you Karate Science Academy's Instagram, where you can find some ideas of using the elastic in this case. Attention that there is no evidence that the use of the elastic is greater than not using anything, but extrapolating what we know about plyometric training, for example, or strength training, etc., we can, in theory, expect the same results. Okay, at least the same results. So if you want to give it a try, you just pull the athlete so he has to decelerate harder. Okay, because he has an external force pulling him. Okay, so you have some ideas here. You just grab the idea, the concept, and you will be able to develop some new exercises related to Kumite or Kata. Okay, here the partner or is alone. He fixes the rubber band in a wall, for example, in a structure. He stretches it, and then he let what? Let his body go forward. Okay, but you can make it with another person, just pulling him. Okay, you can make it with a belt, a karate belt. it doesn't stretch, but the colleague will pull your his partner a little bit. Okay, for example, here, if you make one single hop, you will put a certain amount of acceleration, of power. If you of eccentric load, okay. If you make three single hops in a row, greater. If you try to make a wider single hop, the eccentric load will be greater if you make a shorter single hop. Okay, so just manage all these variables so you can add or take resistance load. Okay, so some ideas you have, you can find it. The elastic band, I can't tell you that is more effective than not using anything, because the studies that are available use only the body weight. Okay, so it's a matter of you deciding to use it or not, but start with this, and then if you have a very advanced athlete that needs more overload, you can try, okay, the use of the elastics. Okay, here you are going to make up to 4 sets of 8 reps. I'm going to give you this protocol because the best study, okay, the most reliable study using this strategy of force deceleration uses this protocol and shows good results. So I'm sharing this protocol with you. If in a couple of years someone tries different protocols, different set organization, different number of reps that are more effective than this, I'm here to share that information with you. Okay, but right now what you have is this. Okay, and you can put also 2 to 3 minutes of pause between sets. Okay, and that's it. Easy to apply. You can use it everywhere with every kind of student. Don't forget to ask them to stick the position as fast as they can, so they can have an an eccentric overload following the same principle of the flywheel. Okay, if they have a concentric phase that is longer, allows them to accelerate more, and then if they try to decelerate in a shorter distance in less time, the eccentric overload has more chance to occur. Okay, that's it. I hope it was useful. I think it's a good tool to have in your toolbox, so you can really play with all of them, so you can design a good training program for your athletes, so they can become faster and more powerful. Okay, thank you very much. See you in the lesson about complex training. Also a good tool. It has its role, especially in times of time management. Okay, so see you there. Thank you very much. Cheers, my friends.